Decoded.
Ever get that feeling like, maybe there's more to wealth than just like the number in your bank account?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, today we're going to dig into this awesome book by Sahil Bloom. It's called The 5 Types of Wealth. And
Oh, I've heard good things about that one.
yeah, it really gets you thinking differently about, what it actually means to be wealthy. It's not just about, piles of money. We're talking time, relationships, mental state, your physical health, all that good stuff. And of course, money does play a role, but it's like, how does it all fit together?
Yeah, right. It's about the bigger picture.
Exactly. So we're going to pull out some of the coolest ideas from the book, see what actionable steps we can take, maybe uncover a few aha moments along the way. And hey, maybe we'll even learn a thing or two about how to live a more fulfilling life, eh?
Sounds good to me.
All right, so you know how Bloom starts the book? Like right off the bat, he shares this really personal story about realizing how limited his time with his parents is. It's like, whoa, that's heavy stuff right from the start.
Yeah, I remember that. It definitely grabs your attention and makes you think about, like, what are we really prioritizing?
Right. It's a total gut punch. But it sets the stage perfectly for his whole discussion about what he calls the arrival fallacy. This idea that, like, once we reach a certain financial goal, boom, happiness just magically appears.
Yeah, like, I'll be happy when.
Exactly. But, I mean, Bloom's been there, done that with financial success, and he realized it wasn't that simple. So why do we keep chasing these financial milestones, What's the real goal here?
He argues it's because we're playing with a broken scoreboard. We've been conditioned to measure success almost entirely by money, but that's such a limited view, right?
Totally. If we're only keeping score with dollars, we're going to miss out on so many other things that are crucial for a truly wealthy life.
Exactly. Like, what's the point of having tons of money if you're miserable, lonely, and unhealthy?
Right, you're just rich.
Yeah.
Not wealthy. So that's where the whole idea of the 5 types of wealth comes in.
Time, wealth, social wealth, mental wealth, physical wealth, and, yeah, financial wealth.
And they're all interconnected. It's not about maxing out one at the expense of the others. It's about finding this, balance.
Finding what Bloom calls enough life. It's this idea that, you get to define what success means for you, not society, not some arbitrary benchmark, just you.
I love that. So let's start with time wealth. What is that exactly, and why is it so important?
Time wealth is essentially about freedom. It's about having control over your time, deciding how you spend it, who you spend it with, and not feeling like you're constantly running out of it.
And it's crazy? We all get the same 24 hours a day. But it feels like some people just, have more time than others.
That's where the 3 pillars of time wealth come in: awareness, attention, and control. First, you got to be aware that your time is finite. It's not unlimited. That's a tough one to really grasp sometimes.
Yeah, it's easy to fall into that trap of thinking, oh, I have plenty of time.
Right, until you don't. So awareness is key. Then there's attention. It's about being present, focused on what matters, and blocking out all those distractions that are constantly vying for our attention.
The distractions.
And lastly, there's control. It's about taking charge of your schedule, making conscious choices about how you allocate your time, and having the guts to say no when you need to.
Oh, the power of no. That's a whole other episode. But seriously, I remember that life phraser from the Netflix guy, Mark Randolph, that never miss a Tuesday dinner thing.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one. It's so simple, but so effective.
It's like building a non-negotiable time block into your life. And Bloom also talks about Kairos time, right? Those moments that are just extra special, maybe where you can make a real impact or just experience pure joy.
It's a good reminder that not every minute has the same weight. So how do we actually build this time wealth? Bloom gives some really practical tips.
Yeah, like what?
One that really hit me was calculating the remaining time you have with loved ones. I know it sounds morbid, but
Yeah, heavy, but
it can be incredibly eye-opening. It makes you realize just how precious that time is. Another practical step is to do an energy audit. Figure out what activities energize you, which ones drain you, and which are kind of neutral. Then you can start shifting your time towards the things that give you energy.
Okay, so pay attention to your energy levels. What else?
Oh, and Parkinson's law. The idea that work expands to fill the time allotted. So set tighter deadlines for yourself. It can work wonders for your productivity.
Love it. Set those deadlines and watch the magic happen. Now, how about attention? Any tips for focusing better?
Bloom talks about creating a flow state boot-up sequence. It's like a personal ritual you design to signal to your brain that it's time to get into deep work mode. You can use your senses, touch, taste, sight, sound, smell, whatever works for you to trigger that flow state.
Like a pre-focused routine. Interesting. And then there's the classic art of no and batching similar tasks together to streamline your schedule.
Right, those are essential for reclaiming control over your time.
All right, let's move on to social wealth. I feel like this one's often misunderstood. It's not just about how many followers you have on Instagram, right?
Definitely not. Social wealth is about the quality of your relationships, the connections you have with people, both personally and professionally.
It's that feeling of belonging, of having people you can count on. And I really liked that question Bloom poses. Who will be in the front row at your funeral?
Yeah, it really makes you think about who your true ride or dies are. Who are the people who truly matter in your life?
And those are your front row people, the ones who will be there for you no matter what. And it's not just about feeling good. There's real science behind this.
Absolutely. The Harvard study of adult development found that the quality of our relationships at age 50 is the strongest predictor of our physical health at age 80. That's wild.
It's insane. Like, good relationships can actually make you live longer. It's crazy.
It really highlights how essential social connection is for our overall well-being. And here's the thing, we live in this hyper-connected world, but so many people feel incredibly lonely.
Yeah, it's like a paradox. We're more connected than ever online, but often less connected in real life.
Right, and Bloom emphasizes that while technology can be a tool for connection, it shouldn't replace those real-life interactions. So when it comes to building social wealth, he outlines three key pillars: depth, breadth, and earned status.
Okay, break those down for me.
Depth is all about those close, intimate relationships, the ones where you feel truly seen and supported. Breadth is about having a wider network, connecting with people from different backgrounds and walks of life, which can expose you to new ideas and opportunities. And then there's earned status, which is about the respect you gain through your actions and character, not just your title or your achievements.
So how do we actually cultivate these different aspects of social wealth?
For depth, start by identifying your front row people and actively nurture those relationships. Make time for them, communicate regularly, and show up for them in meaningful ways.
Quality time, communication. Got it. What else?
Bloom also talks about this green zone, opportunity zone, danger zone framework for assessing your relationships.
Interesting.
So green zone relationships are those that are both frequent and positive. They energize you and bring joy. Opportunity zone relationships are supportive, but maybe you don't connect as often. And then there are the danger zone relationships, which might be frequent, but are ultimately draining or negative.
I see. So prioritize the green zone, nurture the opportunity zone, and be mindful of the danger zone.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And then there are the 5 love languages, words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Understanding your own love language and the love languages of those closest to you can make a huge difference in how you communicate and show appreciation.
Yeah, that's so important. And don't forget about those little rituals that help maintain connection. Bloom suggests a life dinner with your partner, which is basically a dedicated time to check in with each other and reconnect, like a date night with a purpose. I like it. What about when someone's going through a tough time? Any advice on how to be there for them?
Bloom suggests the helped, heard, or hugged method. Ask yourself, in this moment, does this person need practical help? A listening ear or just a comforting hug? It's a simple way to make sure you're offering support in the way they actually need it.
That's really thoughtful. And for expanding our breadth, becoming a good conversationalist is key, right?
Absolutely. Curiosity and active listening are essential. Bloom's anti-networking guide is also super helpful. It encourages you to focus on building genuine connections and offering value to others, rather than just trying to get something out of them.
Okay, so be a good listener, be curious, and give more than you take. Got it. Now, let's talk about mental wealth. I feel like this one is so crucial in today's world.
I agree. Mental wealth is about cultivating a curious mind, having a growth mindset, and finding that inner peace amidst all the chaos.
It's like having a strong, resilient mind.
Exactly. Bloom starts this section by referencing Steve Jobs' Stanford commencement address. He talks about the importance of following your own path and not getting caught up in other people's expectations.
That's so powerful. So what are the pillars of mental wealth?
Purpose, growth, and space. Purpose is about finding your why, that driving force that gives your life meaning. Bloom mentions the Japanese concept of ikigai, which is all about finding that sweet spot where your passions, skills, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for all intersect.
Ikigai. I like that. So finding your purpose, what's next?
Growth. It's about embracing a growth mindset, the belief that you can constantly learn and develop your abilities. It's the opposite of a fixed mindset, which assumes that you have inherent limitation.
Like you're either good at something or you're not.
Right. But a growth mindset says, hey, I can get better at this if I put in the effort. And finally, there's space. This is about creating mental space for yourself, time for reflection, quiet contemplation, and just clearing your head. Bloom calls this your garden.
I love that metaphor. So how do we actually cultivate these pillars of mental wealth in our daily lives?
Well, for finding your purpose, Bloom suggests creating a pursuit map. It's a tool for evaluating your activities based on how much energy they give you and your level of competence in them. This can help you identify those pursuits that are both fulfilling and where you excel.
Okay, so map out your pursuits, see what lights you up and where your strengths lie. What about for fostering a growth mindset?
Bloom recommends the Feynman technique for learning. It involves explaining a concept in simple terms as if you were teaching it to someone else. This process can reveal any gaps in your understanding and help you solidify your knowledge.
I've heard of that technique. It's supposed to be really effective.
It is. He also talks about using Socratic questioning to challenge your assumptions and think more critically.
So always be questioning, always be curious. What about for creating that mental space?
Bloom emphasizes the power of walking. Just getting out in nature, moving your body, and letting your mind wander can do wonders for clarity and creativity. He also recommends the practice of EFT, or episodic future thinking, which involves vividly imagining your desired future. This can help you feel more grounded and focused in the present.
All right, so walk it out and visualize your ideal future. Got it.
Mhm.
Now, on to physical wealth. It's more than just hitting the gym a couple of times a week, right?
Right. Bloom sees physical wealth as having a healthy mind and body. It's about feeling strong, energized, and resilient.
Like you're firing on all cylinders.
And he brings in some historical perspective here, talking about how Vitruvius and Da Vinci studied the human form and the ancient Greeks' emphasis on physical prowess. He also applies the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule, to fitness, suggesting that often a small amount of focused effort can yield significant results.
So it's about working smarter, not just harder. What are the three pillars of physical wealth?
Movement, nutrition, and recovery. Movement encompasses all kinds of physical activity, from cardio to strength training to flexibility and stability work.
So mix it up, find what you enjoy, and keep moving.
Then there's nutrition. It's about fueling your body with whole, unprocessed foods and making sure you're getting enough protein. Bloom advocates for a common-sense diet rather than following restrictive fads.
Keep it simple, eat real food. I can get behind that.
Oh.
And lastly, there's recovery.
Right. Recovery is crucial. This includes getting enough sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night and managing stress effectively. Bloom recommends incorporating science-backed breathing exercises like the 4-7-8 method.
So breathe deep and prioritize sleep. Like it. Any other practical tips for boosting physical wealth?
Bloom suggests starting with a level 1 approach, focusing on building foundational habits. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start small and build from there. He also emphasizes the benefits of creating a consistent morning routine that sets you up for success.
Okay, so start small, be consistent, and create a solid morning routine. Got it. Finally, let's talk about financial wealth. This is the one we probably think about most often, but Bloom puts it in this broader context, right?
Exactly. Financial wealth is about managing your money effectively in a way that supports your values and life goals. It's a tool to help you live the life you want, not the end goal in itself.
He also warns against the trap of constantly wanting just a little bit more, and the phenomenon of hedonic adaptation, where we quickly adapt to increased wealth and then crave even more. It's like we're never satisfied.
Right. And he tells this great story about a fisherman and an investment banker to illustrate that there are many different definitions of success. The fisherman is content with his simple life, while the investment banker is constantly striving for more.
It's a good reminder to define what success means for you, not let society dictate it.
And he also gives a little history of money, which is fascinating in its own right.
I love those little historical tidbits. So what are the pillars of financial wealth, according to Bloom?
Income generation, expense management, and long-term investment. It's about creating a surplus between what you earn and what you spend, and then investing that surplus wisely over time. He emphasizes the power of compounding, using the classic story of the rice and the chessboard to illustrate how small, consistent investments can grow exponentially over time.
Compounding, it's a beautiful thing. So What are some actionable financial strategies?
Focus on that gap between income and expenses. Avoid lifestyle creep, that tendency to spend more as you earn more. Bloom also stresses the importance of long-term investing. Don't try to get rich quick. Focus on steady, consistent growth.
Slow and steady wins the race, right?
Exactly. And he offers a bunch of practical tips, like negotiating bills, implementing a 30-day rule for non-essential purchases, and being mindful of your spending habits. Automate your savings, treat credit cards like cash to avoid overspending, build an emergency fund, and learn the basics of different asset classes like stocks, bonds, and real estate.
Wow, that's a lot to digest. But the key takeaway here is that financial wealth should serve your broader life goals, not the other way around.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been an incredible exploration of the 5 types of wealth. It's clear that a truly rich life is about so much more than just money.
It's about this beautiful tapestry of time wealth, social wealth, mental wealth, physical wealth, and yes, financial wealth.
And by consciously nurturing all of these areas, we can create a life that is truly fulfilling, balanced, and rich in every sense of the word.
So true. It's about finding that sweet spot where all these different aspects of wealth work together in harmony.
So as you think about these 5 types of wealth, what's one small step you can take today to invest in an area that maybe you've been neglecting? It could be as simple as calling a friend, going for a walk, or setting aside 15 minutes for quiet reflection. Every small step counts. Let's all strive to build lives that are rich in every way. Thanks for tuning in to Book Decoded.